I woke up to find my brother gone and my parents nowhere in sight. And then I realized I wasn't alone. Asterisk, I was about 6 years old when I woke up one morning to a completely empty room. It was still barely dawn, and the room was dark. My brother, who usually shared the room with me, was missing. His bed was empty, the blankets were untouched. I sat up, confusion and fear gripping me. I thought maybe he was in my parents' room, so I quickly made my way down the hallway to check. But when I peeked inside their bedroom, they weren't there either. It was strange. Mum and Dad never left so early, and they definitely never left without telling us. I started to panic. I walked around the house calling their names. Nothing. Silence. The whole house felt like a ghost town. My heart was racing, and I felt completely alone, with no one to turn to. I couldn't stand it anymore. I ran outside, hoping to find my parents' car in the driveway, or at least hear something familiar. But the fog was so thick that I could barely see the end of the driveway. The eerie silence around me was suffocating. There was no car, no noise, no sign of life anywhere. I bolted to the backyard, where I always found my dog. I figured maybe he would calm me down, but when I reached the backyard, he wasn't there either. It felt like the entire world had gone silent, and I was the only one left behind. Panic surged through me. I ran back inside, but the house felt like a prison. I didn't know what to do, where to go, or who to call. I was completely alone in the thick, choking fog. The loneliness was unbearable. So, in my panic, I crawled under my bed and curled up there, trying to comfort myself with sleep. When I woke up, it wasn't the same. The fog outside had cleared, and I could hear the sounds of voices. It was coming from the kitchen. I got up, confused, and walked slowly toward the sound. To my surprise, my parents were sitting there, talking. My brother was there too, looking pale and exhausted. They explained that he had been sick with an ear and gum infection, running a high fever and throwing up. They had taken him to the hospital, and that's why they weren't home earlier. They had left without waking me, as they didn't want to scare me, assuming I was still asleep. I was relieved to see my little brother was all right, but there was still something about that morning that didn't sit right with me. The feeling of being completely alone, the silence that was almost suffocating, the foggets, all felt too strange. My dog eventually came back home later in the day, wagging his tail like nothing had happened. Apparently, he had just been out wandering around the neighborhood, which wasn't unusual. In our part of southern Louisiana, many homes don't have fences, and the area between homes is pretty wide, so it wasn't odd for pets to roam. But the unease I felt that morning still lingers. The fog, the silence, the way everything seemed to disappear, and the fear that someone or something had been watching me that whole time. I'll never forget the strange feeling of being truly alone in that house, even though I wasn't. Asterisk, do you think something else was going on that day? Would you have gone looking for your family? Let me know in the comments.